been a very interesting year with respect to content in India. I would like to say that through this video, there has been more good than bad this year, and I generally feel from a strictly content perspective, it has been a better year than 2020. While everyone started giving attention to other industries other than the Hindi language one last year, Bollywood also stepped it up this year with great compelling stories. There are a lot of movies that I covered this year, so to curate a top 10 was quite the daunting task, especially because it does not only focus on Hindi cinema. So bear with me as I had to curate this from a lot of impressive films across languages. Before I get to it, you also let me know in the comments below which film was your ultimate number one choice and why in 2021. So here is Tried&Refused Productions with top 10 best Indian movies and performances of 2021. Number 10 goes to 83. Probably one of the most awaited films of 2021, definitely delivered. Focusing on the triumphant and unexpected victory of the Indian cricket team in 1983, this film highlighted not only an underdog story but a moment from modern history that changed the perception of Indians at a global scale. From a beautiful integration of real-life footage in its screenplay to the stupendous performances by especially Ranveer Singh and Jeeva, this film had its heart in the right place and ensured an authenticity and respect to the real-life story. Scuffed at the fact that we only beat East Africa before the World Cup, these individuals had something to prove. These people essentially became trendsetters of the powerhouse and competitive sport that we have become today. Many people would like to equate its underwhelming financial performance and somehow correlate it to the film's quality, but I genuinely feel that Kabir Khan holistically made this story not only impactful but an emotional journey for those who experienced it in theatres. MINNAL MURALI. One of my favorite and most awaited streaming experiences of 2021 was the Basil Joseph directed film MINNAL MURALI on Netflix. There is a part within me that is still sad that I could not experience this film in theatres, but just the story of the journey of this film and how it eventually came together is beautiful to hear about. Made on a budget of 18 crores, formulating a superhero origin story from Kerala is a daunting task. For the very expectation the audiences have already being privy to so many successful franchises, but Basil Joseph and his team definitely delivered. They say that the superhero in any film is as good as their antagonist, and the very fact that Tovino Thomas is supported by an enthralling performance by Guru Somasundaram as Shibu, it just elevated the story tenfold. Yes, of course, one would have liked for the action sequences to be a little more slick and the CGI to be more technically sound, but the film, its heart, and especially character and world building that made us empathize with these grey characters, made MINNAL MURALI a superhero franchise we can be proud of and call our own, only making me excited about what the future installments have in store for us. Number 8 goes to SHERSHAAH. The real-life story of Vikram Batra in the form of SHERSHAAH was one of the most emotional viewing experiences that I had this year. The film had everything that one can think of when you formulate on what makes a theatre movie experience absolutely paisa vasool. Circumstances had it that this film released on an OTT platform directly, but everything from its music, its heartbreaking love story, the action sequences, the visual effects by Red Chillies Entertainment, the realism and the lack of jingoism that existed in this film made it such a holistically impressive film. Everyone had their doubts about Siddharth Malhotra and his capability to pull off a role as demanding and charming as Vikram Batra, but the man, just like a phoenix, left no stone unturned, probably giving the best performance of his career. A combination of great storytelling by Vishnu Vardhan, SHERSHAAH packed the punch in every way, so much so that I still revisit some of its moments. Man Bhariya and the iconic bus stop sequence being two of them. I think the storyline of Vikram and Dimple will always have a special place in my heart. Number 7 goes to Sarpata Parambarai. Arya as a talent in the Tamil film industry has had quite the oscillating journey leading to a polarized perception of the actor and the range that he possesses. Set in the 80s in Northern Chennai, Sarpata Parambarai has to be one of the most impressive sports films that have come out in recent history from India. Different clans being formulated from the training of the British, namely Idyappa and Sarpata, each individual wanting to showcase his supremacy in the boxing ring, leading to the discovery of Kabila, accounting for a really interesting world and journey of the protagonist. All being the brainchild of director Ranjit. An exhilarating music album composed by Santosh Narayanan, the set and art direction transporting the viewers to exactly the time period in which the movie is set, the expansive shots of the boxing events almost advertised and posed like current MMA events, and probably the best part, the dedication to the characters shown by Arya and especially the show stealer Pasupati as the head coach Ranga. I'm still honestly waiting for the Dancing Rose spin-off. This one was truly epic. Number 6 goes to Malik. Focusing on the life of Suleiman Malik, played by Fahad Fasil, the story sheds light on his rise to prominence, coming under the scanner of several officials on this journey, the conflicts that arise between communities that once lived in harmony, and finally the old state in which he feels absolutely cornered. Meticulously using fictional towns from the several anecdotes that he has heard, director Mahesh Narayanan beautifully crafts a story that spans several decades. From the technically brilliant cinematography of Sanu John Varghese, with iconic long shots without any cuts, the thought-provoking and social context that this brought about, almost shedding light on stories that are otherwise on a national scale embroiled in controversy, and finally the outstanding performances by Fahad Fasil, Nimisha Sajayan, and especially Vinay Ford. This one is a worthy ode to the worlds of Godfather and Costa Gavras's filmography. And the best part being, while still being an ode to these worlds, it still stands as having its own identity. Number 5 goes to Jai Bhim. Directed by T.J. Nannawale, the movie is inspired by true events and focuses on the plight of the Irula tribe that has persisted over several generations. When a case of theft is lodged by a member of the ruling party, the police force feels pressure to resolve the case immediately, leading to a false implication against the working class tribe, and what follows is the police brutality that is endured and the case that follows, in exposing the corrupt practices of official bodies and working towards protecting the interests and rights of minorities. The movie was gut-wrenching and powerful to say the least. A brilliant case of a star not hogging the limelight and letting the storytelling do all the talking. Lee Jumol Jose with her acting performance left me speechless in this film, and I will never forget her character taking a stand of not accepting the police force's pity and walking back to her village as she gets constantly requested by a police officer to step inside the jeep. This film was extremely special. Number 4 goes to Garuda, Gamana, VRISHABHA, VAHANA. A huge surprise from the Kannada film industry this year was the powerful Garuda, Gamana, VRISHABHA, VAHANA, directed, written and starring Raj B. Shetty. Set in the backdrop of the coastal cultural city of Mangalore, two kids, Hari and Shiva, that grow up together hand in hand in unison, only for their conflicts to be arising in their friendship that is originally set with a solid foundation of admiration, trust and love. Why does the conflict arise? How do the contrasting characters complement one another, the underworld of Mangalore and the several rackets that they manage, and finally the ultimate face-off made the ingredients of this film an absolute treat to watch in theatres. Integrating so many themes from ancient Indian history, performances that still give me flashbacks of my jaw-dropping reaction at the theatre, the contrast between Shiva and Hari, the emotional origin story of their bond and its evolution, all of it accounted for such an intense viewing experience that is still vivid in my memory. The tiger dance by Raj B. Shetty still sends shivers down my spine. And this is a movie that I can't wait for people to watch if it comes on an OTT platform soon. Number 3 goes to GEELI PUCCHI. This story from Ajeeb Dastans, directed by Neeraj Gaiwan, is special in so many ways. The man, through his story GEELI PUCCHI, presents so many social aspects that are either pushed under the rug or are still not given national attention. Showcasing the story through the character of Bharti Mandal, played by Konkana Sen Sharma, who is a factory worker and comes across a woman, Priya Sharma, played by Aditi Rao Hydari, who gets hired for a job in the same company that Bharti is equally qualified for. The development of a friendship and the unfortunate instance of several biases getting uncovered makes this story heartbreaking and the reflection of the problems in our social fabric. A bone-chilling performance by Konkana Sen Sharma and a convincing commentary on the connotation of a woman, their experience, and the vitriol one faces to love freely. This one was truly unexpected and a powerful piece from Hindi cinema. Number 2 goes to The Great Indian Kitchen. Imagine getting rejected by all major OTT platforms only to gain traction from a website like MeStream, for people to rave about it on social media and then get accepted by the same biggies that rejected you initially. Having the privilege to watch the masterpiece before the hype, The Great Indian Kitchen not only showcased a realistic and grim picture of the daily experience of women in conservative traditional households, but took the plunge of making a character stand up for herself. The subtle moments in the film that reflect on our own lives, instances that we never considered to be problematic, is one of the main reasons why it hit such a chord with so many people. The smokescreen that is the promise of an equal union in marriage, a gut-wrenchingly powerful performance by Nimisha Sajayan, and a film that simply sits with you. This one has to be one of the most impactful viewing experiences of 2021. Before I get to what holds the number 1 position, there is just a quick montage of some of the honourable mentions that could not make my list but deserve the respect. Number 1 goes to Sardar Udham. Hands down, the film that stayed with me and had the most profound impact both from a storytelling and performance point of view has to be Sardar Udham. Vicky encapsulated every stage of Udham Singh from 1919 to 1940 with such a chameleon-like ability that has truly made him, in my eyes, a bona fide superstar. A historic figure that is symbolic as he represents more than just the act that he is famous for. He was the embodiment of a revolution that shook the oppressive ways of the imperialist forces that still find it tough to have a conscience to atone for the wrongs that they have done. The visual depiction of the horrifying event in Punjab in 1919 still sends shivers down my spine. I was blown away by the cinematography of Avik Mukhopadhyay, the aching background score of Shantanu Moitra, and Shujit Sarkar's creative decision to leave no stone unturned in simply portraying the horrors that still echo in Amritsar today. What is probably a mere footnote in the history books globally changed a country psychologically, instilling within them the determined zeal for a free India. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what was your favorite movie of 2021. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.